Hey guys, it's Jenna here. Welcome back to my channel. So, first actual reading vlog going into the new year, and we are going to be doing a 24-hour readathon. So, if I can find my iPad. So it is currently 7:22 on Thursday, January 6th. So, readathon is not going to be starting until midnight, but I figured I would just film the intro and my TBR now so that when it hits midnight, I can just get right into reading, because I tend to film really long intros. So I figured let's get it out of the way so I can start right at midnight. Let me preface this by saying that my dear friend Jocelyn is going to be joining me, which I am really thankful for, because I suck at holding myself accountable for readathons. And if somebody else knows that I'm doing one, then I don't really have a choice but to push myself forward. So basically my goal of this readathon is to ring in the new year with a good reading mood, because last year was not good in terms of reading. Like, I almost quit booktube multiple times. I only read like 30 something books, which, you know, it's still a pretty good number, but for me, like, looking back on my Goodreads and seeing how much I read in previous years, it's like, I could have done better than that. So I have some pretty lofty goals for myself this year. I set my Goodreads goal at 55, which is 20 more than I read this year. So I set it lower, and what I do is whenever I reach my goal, I bump it up or bump it down. And I'm hoping to be able to do that this year. I have a lot of plans. I'm kind of going to spoil my little surprise for you guys, but I want to do a readathon. I haven't planned out the details yet, but I think I want to have it in March, because March is reading month. And basically it's going to be a month long of me rereading all of my favorites to see if they still got it, in my opinion. There's a lot of books that I realized reorganizing my shelves that I really miss, and I'm curious to see if they still match up to the expectations in my head. So you guys can hold me accountable to that. I really want to do it, but if you guys know about it, it's bound to happen. So I also reorganized my shelves. They were already rainbow-fied, and basically all I did was I took all of my books off. I went shelf by shelf and took everything off, dusted them off, wiped it down, dried it off, and then put the books back in. I did have a stack of TBR books that I had to put back into the run, so there was like some minor moving around, but it's not too drastic. The only drastic thing was I took all of the Cassandra Clare off of my red shelf and put it up here. I'm finally using the tops of my bookshelf as actual book storage instead of BS clutter. That was another big thing for me, is I reorganized all the tops of my shelves and actually made them look pretty and like somewhat organized instead of just a, you know, anywho. So yeah, I got a lot done with this. I was really proud of how the tops of my bookshelves came out. And later in the readathon, I will give you guys a tour. But for now, I wanted to go over my TBR. I'm just so glad that Jocelyn's doing this with me, because honestly, I crushed my own readathon spirit by doubting myself. So it's going to be nice having someone with me. So let's start with the books that I'm already started, I guess. So these books, first book is To Finish These Hollow Vows by Lexi Ryan. I am currently on chapter 19, page 242 in this, so I'm over halfway done with this. I started this at the end of last year and just didn't end up finishing it due to holiday chaos, and I just got really busy. So I would have finished it if it wasn't so close to the holidays, but didn't get around to it. And next, this book I didn't actually start yet, but I have the audiobook for it and have it downloaded, so I count it as started in my personal opinion. And that is Vespertine by Margaret Rogerson. This is going to be my audiobook for the readathon for when I get sleepy and need to get up and do something like organize my closet that I shoved all my shit into. So this is the audiobook of the readathon. It'd be really nice if I could find more. And yes, so Vespertine is basically about nuns. I don't know how else to word it. I didn't really read the synopsis, and These Hollow Vows is giving me massive, what book did I say that it reminded me of? A mixture of ACOTAR and Cruel Prince, kind of. It deals a lot with the Seelie and Unseelie Fae courts, and it's kind of like a dark to light love triangle between the badass main character, and I'm enjoying it so far. So next we have 4 other possible reads. I should also preface this by saying I don't expect to get all of this done. I will be satiated if I can get like 3 of these done. But I wanted to have a couple of options, and I tried to pick some shorter reads that I was interested in trying to get done. So first book on the possibility stack is the biggest one on the stack, and it is Rhapsodic by Laura Thalassa. I picked this up because of BookTube hype last year, or the year before that, I think, actually. And I haven't gotten around to it yet, but I kind of want to. All I know is that the main character is a siren, and she gets these black beads that are magical IOUs for favors that she's received. And yeah. I don't really want to go into this knowing much else, but I've heard that it was good, so I'm eager to try it out. It is a pretty chunky book, though. Oh, thank God there's a glossary. It's like 407 pages. Next, we have November 9 by Colleen Hoover. I really liked It Ends With Us and Verity. And so this was the only other Colleen Hoover that I had on my shelf. So I'm just going to read this. It says, Fallon meets Ben, an aspiring novelist, the day of her scheduled cross-country move. Their untimely attraction leads them to spend Fallon's last day in LA together, and her uneventful life becomes the most creative inspiration Ben has always sought for his novel. Over time, and amidst the various relationships and tribulations of their own separate lives, they continue to meet on the same day every year, until one day Fallon becomes unsure if Ben has been telling her the truth or fabricating a perfect reality for the sake of the ultimate plot twist. So, funny thing, actually, Jocelyn, this is for you. I did not really think anything of this book until she told me that this book makes people cry. And now I am second-guessing everything. This is 307 pages. So, knowing Colleen Hoover, this could be a pretty freaking quick read for me. Let's hope so. And next we have Neon Gods by Katie Robert. Couldn't have a readathon without a smut option, of course. And again, I thought that I picked short books, but this is not short. This is 377 pages. This is a smutty Hades and Persephone retelling with a little bit of Zeus stashed in there. So, I'm pretty sure they own a gambling empire. Or am I still thinking of Touch of Darkness? Yeah, I'm thinking of A Touch of Darkness. So I don't know what this is about. I've heard very mixed options of this. It was really hyped up for a while. The girl who sold it to me on Barnes & Noble, like, she gave me the recommendation. She's like, this book is good. You need to get this series. And now I've been hearing very mixed reviews. This has like a 3 average rating on Goodreads, and I've heard like people were underwhelmed with it and it wasn't what they were expecting. So I'm trying to hype it down for myself so that it might be better than what people are saying. Reverse psychologying myself, if you will. And then lastly, my last option is Ariadne by Jennifer Saint. Honestly, the only reason this book ended up on this TBR is because I needed another slot on my blue bookshelf for a sequel that I'm not ready to read yet, and this book, I was like, oh, I forgot that I bought this. Let's put it on a readathon TBR. It's decently short. Watch me say that it's not again. 305 pages. That's not terrible. And this is, I wonder if it's an Ariadne retelling, Jenna. It says, Ariadne, princess of Crete, grows up greeting the dawn from her beautiful... Hold on. Ariadne, princess of Crete, grows up greeting the dawn from her beautiful dancing floor and listening to her nursemaid stories of gods and heroes. But beneath her golden palace echo the ever-present hoofbeats of her brother, the Minotaur, a monster who demands blood sacrifice. When Theseus, the prince of Athens, arrives to vanquish the beast, Ariadne sees in his green eyes not a threat but an escape. Defying the gods, betraying her family and country, and risking everything for love, Ariadne helps Theseus kill the Minotaur. But will Ariadne's decision ensure her happy ending? And what of Phaedra, the beloved younger sister she leaves behind? So, Greek mythology retellings have been super in right now. Madeline Miller, I'm looking at you. So, naturally, hearing about an Ariadne retelling was extremely up my alley. So, I picked this up. Obviously forgot that I had picked it up because when I saw it on my shelf, I was like, say what? And yeah, I'm really hoping I get around to that because it sounds interesting. And yeah, I guess now I will check in with you guys in a couple of hours. It's 7:35 now, so happy readathon, book nerds. So it is a little past 12 because I was finishing up an episode of Teen Wolf. So it is 12:10. And Jocelyn had the honor of picking my first read. So we are going to be starting out with Rhapsodic by Laura Thalassa. And yes, the time is 12:10 and it is time to get crack-a-lackin'. Rachel, I had her pick my second read before she went to bed. So I'm going to keep it a surprise for you guys for now. But I have my first couple reads lined up and I am feeling semi-energized because I think my cup of tea kicked in. And yeah, I think I'm going to make another cup of tea around like 2 or 3 to see how that works out for me. And I think I'm going to move out to the living room once my dad goes to bed because I seem to do some pretty good reading there when I'm not in my comfort zone, tempted by the sleep of my comfy squishmallows. So yeah, we're going to give Rhapsodic a go. I'll check in later. Hey guys, so it is currently 2:15. Not to jinx anything, so knock on wood, but I'm still wide awake. I figured I would give you guys a progress update. So I am currently on chapter 9, page 108. I did take a little bit of a break, so I would be farther in it if I hadn't taken a break, but I was getting a little bit peckish and such like that. So I did take a little bit of a food / TikTok break. Woo! But I'm about to get in it now, get back into it, and then I think around 3, I'm going to move out to the living room. I might hold off on my cup of tea for a little bit longer, just until I get sleepier, because I don't want to completely overdo it and be like off the rails and then crash really bad. I think I want to wait until I'm already crashing from the first cup to go with another. So yeah, I also have a really cute bookish candle that I forgot that I bought, and we're gonna burn this. I got this from Hobby Lobby, and we're gonna burn this when I go out and move out to the living room. It smells really good. But overall, this is going really well so far. I'm really liking this book, so shout out to Jocelyn for picking it as my first read. It has got basically like every element that I look for in an adult fantasy. I'm honestly such an easy reader though. Like, you could give me trash and I'd be like, I love this. There isn't much that I read that I don't like. I don't like super... I noticed that I don't like YA romance, like, at all. I hardly ever gravitate towards YA romance unless it's fantasy. So, like, I don't really do YA contemporaries for that very reason, because I find them very cliche and cringy, but give me a predictable adult romance and I am all for it. Especially if it's fantasy and there's morally gray bad boys involved. So yeah, basically for this book, you got a girl with a traumatic past, check. You got a girl who is in debt to dark royalty, check. You got a stunningly beautiful male character, check. Bonus that he has wings, check. Extra bonus if he's super cocky and only has a soft spot for the main character, triple check. You got a badass female main character who can stand up for herself, check. Bonus if she has powers of her own, check. Extra bonus if she's got a witty best friend that you honestly love just as much as the main character, check. Another bonus if she's got a very bland love interest that would realistically be the better pick, but he's just so boring you can't, like, get over him, check. Because, you know, he's probably right for her, but I just can't stand him. Like, there's been like 2 sentences of his dialogue and I don't like the man. He's very boring to me. So, also witty banter, check. Like, I can see myself becoming pretty infatuated with the series. It's very much so giving, oh, what's the book? It's giving Cruel Prince, kind of. And it's giving Aquatar. Hello, it's giving Aquatar. And what's the other book I'm thinking of? I thought of it when I said witty best friend. What is it? I don't know, but overall, I'm really loving this book, and I'm pretty excited to dive back in. Needless to say, I'm enjoying it, so thank you, Jocelyn, for picking this, because honestly, this was not a book I would have gravitated towards, probably for this readathon, unless somebody else picked it for me. Hello, y'all. It is 4:30 and I am currently still wide awake, surprisingly. I have not even had to make another cup of tea yet. I'm a little bit surprised. So I am currently on chapter 16, page 220. I did take a little bit of a break. You guys might enjoy this story, actually. So I decided that I was a little hungry. So I was like, you know what? Ramen noodles sound like the move. So, you know, I'm just going to say this right now. If I watch this back and I see a shadow or a figure there, I'm going to piss my pants. I digress. So, ramen noodles was on my mind. The vibes were off immediately. I make my ramen how I thought was normal. And I go to drain said ramen and I dump half my freaking noodles in the sink. So naturally, this just pisses me right off. And I was only able to save a quarter of my noodles. So a quarter of my noodles had to get thrown away or down the drain. So I had 75% of a pack of ramen, and it didn't even taste that good. So now I'm really mad. But, once again, I digress. This book took a turn. For the good, though. Like, this is starting to get like a kind of like a creepy atmosphere, hence my paranoia of dark corners. Freaking me out a bit. Yeah, it's getting a bit creepy, but like I'm really liking the story. I'm loving the bond and the tension between these two. It's very, very good. I'm really liking the story, and I'm liking it so much that Jocelyn and I are both actually having this thought. Like, we're actually really enjoying our first reads so much. We picked each other's first books, and we are enjoying them so much that we're starting to worry that the rest of our TBR isn't going to compare. And it's like a genuine concern of mine. Like, what if none of my other books capture my attention like this one? Like, what do we do then? That's not gonna be very fun. But yeah, I am really thinking about going and seeing how much the next book in the series is and just splurging what money I don't have while I'm unemployed to buy it, because I don't want to wait and then have to reread it. Well, not that I would mind rereading it, of course, but my reread list is getting a bit long. But anywho, long story short, as I've already explained the whole story in detail, is that this book is super good and I'm really liking it, and I am about to continue. I'm going to see if I can make it until 6 a.m. Without my tea. I'm getting a smidge sleepy. That's probably because I had a hot meal though. Yeah, if I get any sleepier though, I'll just make my tea at 5. But yeah, I'm gonna aim for 6 because that's when the sun comes up. No, that's not right either. I don't know. It'll come up eventually, and I'll make tea eventually. Hello. It is currently 7:15. I've not slept, but you know what I did do? I finished Rhapsodic by Laura Thalassa, and I think that I'm still going to give this a 5 out of 5 stars. But, however, the last 50 pages lost me a bit. So, in my personal opinion, I felt like the villain was really freaking obvious ever since the middle of the book. And the MC and her love interest didn't figure it out until the very end, when it was the most bloody freaking obvious. And it's how did you not put those puzzle pieces together sooner? Really? That and the whole just I don't know, the finale just kind of rubbed me the wrong way, I guess. Because I was loving everything that happened before that. Easily could have adored it. I almost would have preferred it if it was just kind of sappy in the first book and nothing big happened until the next book, or if they had gotten, I don't know, another premonition, or I don't know. I feel there are different ways that it could have gone about where it wasn't so rushed and I don't know, I'm gonna go into some spoilers for a second. So if you don't want to get spoiled for this book, skip ahead a couple minutes. But basically, so the main character gets abducted by this villain in the book. And obviously I knew who it was, and I was shocked that they didn't figure it out sooner. So she gets abducted and all this bad stuff happens, but I'm talking like she goes through weeks of capture in like less than 50 pages. And all of these things are happening, and then her love interest finally finds her, and then like it's just over in like 2 pages. Like he just defeats the bad guy in like 2 pages. And it's like, okay, if you knew who this was, then why couldn't you have stopped it before she was tortured and mutilated and all of this and all that? And I don't know. There's this point where I wish that, like, if you guys know, if you've read this book, that like the comatose woman, some of them like would have woken up, and like I feel like that would have been a better way to end the book instead of rushing the whole confrontation into the last 50 pages. I feel like that probably would have been better saved for the next book, but that's just my personal opinion. The rest of the book I absolutely adored. I loved their backstory. I loved their present story. Just the tension, the build-up. It was great. And then, I don't know. It was giving me massive ACOTAR vibes. Like, recent Feyre vibes. And yeah. So I'm currently waiting for Jocelyn to send me her reaction of her first book that she finished. So we both finished our books at the same time. So we are pretty on par with each other right now. So with that being said, let me try to sit up and show you guys what I'm going to be reading next. I'm a little bit chilly. I don't know. So I was debating on taking a bath, but I guess we'll see, because I took one late last night. So, and I still have not made my cup of tea. I kind of wanted to wait until sunrise, but I guess that might be further off than I originally believed. So, as you guys know, Jocelyn picked my first read, which I ended up liking a lot. The ending just kind of like ruined it for me a little bit, because it was going so well, and then it was just like, why'd you have to end it like that? That was kind of whack. So, Jocelyn picked my first read, and I gave Rachel the honor of picking my second read before she went to sleep last night, and she chose Ariadne by Jennifer Saint. So this is a pretty short read. It's 305 pages, and it's a retelling, so I'm just really hoping that because of my forethought knowledge of Greek mythology that like it can go over well, and that I can get through this quick enough. I am getting sleepy now. Now that I've read 400 pages, I'm getting a little sleepy. So I am going to wait for Jocelyn's review, and then I think I'm going to, I don't know, I kind of want to take like a bath to warm up or something. Hello y'all, so it is currently just about 8 a.m. I have just brewed myself a cup of tea, and this is the Reading Nook blend of black tea. This is a blend of joy, pairs with creativity, reading and writing, conversation, and relaxing. It is black tea, rosebuds, lavender, chamomile, and natural flavor, and this is caffeinated, so thank goodness, because Jocelyn had the same thoughts as I did. We were so energized in our first book, like we were very invested in our stories. And now that we are finished with them, I feel like every fiber of energy has been drained out of me. So this cup of tea was definitely needed. And pretty soon I am going to have to bear the 10-degree weather and go outside, check on the buns. Don't worry, it is much warmer in the barn than it is outdoors, and they handle winters extremely well. I would not have them out there otherwise, believe me. Quite frankly, if I were to bring them in the house right now, it would probably make them sick because they're so used to Michigan temperatures fluctuating that the being in 68-degree rooms would honestly could take a couple of my rabbits out. I don't think they would handle the temperature shock very well right now. Because I go out sometimes and some of their ears are like warm, and I'll be like, it's a little bit nippy out here, and they'll be like, nah, Mom, I'm warm. So I assure you my bunnies are perfectly fine. Might be a little bit cranky because I ran out of oatmeal. But yeah, this Reading Nook tea was absolutely delectable. Make sure you guys check out my tea review. I will hopefully be getting that up today. I need to see if I'm able to find any gaps in my readathon to try to edit that quickly and get that up, because I've really been wanting to get that up. So I will see if I can spare a break. I'm trying to think of like when that could be, but I will figure it out. So honestly, overall, Plum Deluxe will get a 10 out of 10. I loved everything that they sent me, and coming from somebody who has never brewed a cup of tea before, I'm pretty freaking impressed. I am pretty hard to impress, I would say, in terms of like food and drinks and stuff. And I'm being completely transparent with you guys. Like, I know that they sent this product to me for free, but they also asked me to give my honest opinion, and I am telling you guys, I was like not a tea drinker. I just thought that it wasn't for me. I didn't like the texture, I didn't like the flavor, but it's really good. I'm like, I was culture shocked after when you see my review. You will, every drink that I take is the first drink I'm taking. So you're getting my genuine reaction, like honest to God, my genuine reaction. And every time I was so impressed. Like I was fully expecting to have to fake a reaction to be like, oh, it's tea. Like, no, it's like I've been making tea all day, every day. I'm almost out of my gratitude blend of black tea. So I am going to finish my cup of tea. Actually, while I'm taking this small break, I might start editing that tea video now, but afterwards this bad baby's getting dove into. So brief bunny intermission break. Jocelyn and I decided to take an hour or so off for like a self-care time. I took a little bit more than enough. It's almost been 2 hours at this point. I had my tea. I edited my tea review, and then I had to come out, take care of the bunnies. I wasn't really feeling the best there for a second, so I was just focusing on calming down. Little Miss Raven wanted to say hi. She's so soft. She's plush. She feels like a squishmallow. Say hi, Ray Ray. Say hi, Raven. Can you say hello? So I'm being a very bad 24-hour readathonner, but I am finally sitting down. Ooh. I am finally sitting down and starting Ariadne. Okay, I had breakfast. I associated with the bunnies. Okay, I'm actually gonna sit down this time. I'm more wide awake, alert, enthusiastic. I had my tea, it kicked in. Michigan weather slapped me in the face, and now I'm ready to go again. I think. Yeah, no, I am ready to go. Okay, so I will check in with you guys Oh shit, I was gonna start uploading the tea review. I will check in when I have a reading update. Hey guys, so it is 3:45. So unfortunately, I have hit a little bit of a rut in the readathon, and I think if I were to ask Jocelyn, I think she would say the same, because I don't know, we seem to be having the exact same experience. Like, we weren't expecting our first book to like capture our attention that much, and then when it did, we were so awake those first 7 hours, and then like we were both like, I don't know, I'm kind of worried that the rest of our TBR isn't gonna like measure up to the first read, you know? And boy, was that ever premeditation, because I have been trying to read this freaking book since like whenever I updated you guys last, like before 12. And I've made it a whopping 90 pages. 90 pages. And okay, let me preface this by saying it is not a bad book at all. It's not a bad book. I love Greek mythology. I love like just the rich Greek mythology. Like, everything in there, I'm like, I know that city, you know. It's nice having those Easter eggs after you've studied Greek mythology and all of the myths and legends, and, you know, just playing Assassin's Creed Odyssey as well. Like, I took a Greek mythology class, and I have tons of books, and it's like nice seeing these little Easter eggs and like remembering how everybody is connected. But going from our first book to the second book is like physically jarring. I cannot make my brain focus on this. I'm not even that okay, never mind. I'm not even gonna lie anymore. I'm really freaking tired. But like, I don't know. I put all of my motivation to read into the first book. I'm still gonna finish the readathon. I'm just not putting my goals as high as they were. I ended up getting this on audio because I physically could not keep my eyes open reading this. Again, it's not that it's a boring book. It is just paced and written so much differently than the first book. Like, the first book is just like a guilty pleasure read. It's like a little trashy because, you know, it's an adult fantasy with smut dabbled in there. But this is a Greek mythology retelling set, of course, in the Greek era. So they all talk differently. They like, it's a slower paced book, is basically what I'm telling you. Okay? And it's giving me a run for my money. So I have this on audio now. I was just going to listen to Vespertine, but like, I'm almost halfway through this. So like, I have like 60 more pages until I'm halfway through. So let's go and like mark that. I'm pretty sure. And honestly, like, it's not the worst. Like, I could see me giving this like probably like a 4, just depending on how it turns out. See, the thing is, I don't remember how the Ariadne story ends. All I know is that she was originally with Theseus, and then something goes on, and then she ends up with Dionysus. That's all I remember about the myth. So I don't remember the whole story. I guess we'll see. So right now I'm on chapter 11. I want to get to chapter 19 before I decide if I want to switch gears for a little bit. I switched to audio because I was having genuinely such a hard time staying awake after putting all that energy into my first book that I had to just like play The Sims and keep my mind occupied and just listen instead. So I don't know if I'm going to do that or what. I kind of got a little bit burnt out on The Sims, but I might try again now that I went back out and took care of the bunnies. I was also thinking about making one more cup of tea, but the kitchen's kind of a mess and all my stuff is in the dirty dishes, so that's not very appealing to me. So I guess it just remains to be seen, but I figured, man, it's been a couple hours since an update. I should probably give you guys one. So, thing is, I'm going to try to get halfway through this and see how long that takes me. Because I would rather finish... Well, now I'm torn, because I want to say I would rather finish these Hollow Vows, but that book's going to be easier to get into for me than this is. Again, not a bad book. I will probably end up rating it highly. It's just like my brain is not at full enough capacity to be processing this kind of reading material at the given moment. So, do with that what you will. Hey y'all, so it is currently 6:20. I'm going to do this as gently as I possibly can. So, Ariadne. You know, now that I'm reading it, I'm starting to remember it, and the more I'm reading it, the more it's literally just telling you the myth of Ariadne and Theseus. It's literally just that. I mean, I'm pretty sure the only thing that's exaggerated is like... Well, I don't even think that part's exaggerated. Well, like the part between her and Dionysus, you know? Like, I know that she met Dionysus in the original myth, but the only thing that might have, like, stretched the truth is, like, I don't know. It's literally just the myth, but in book form. So, it's not bad. It's just, like, I don't know. So, I made it to chapter 19, page 155, and I think I'm going to bench this for now. I will finish the other half at a different time, but I think I want to focus my efforts onto finishing these Hollow Vows. That's been on my list for a while now, so I'm going to read that on ebook for a while, and then if I still have time, maybe I'll come back to Ariadne. I don't know yet, but I'm getting very sleepy, but I don't think I'll fall asleep. It's just, I'm gonna sleep really good when I do get to sleep. Hello. It's 11:04. And I just finished these Hollow Vows by Lexi Ryan. Okay, before I go on my whole thing, I'm just gonna say 5 out of 5 stars. Okay. I am flabbergasted. I am freaking flabbergasted right now. Like, I'm not confused, but you could call me confusion, because, like, my spidey senses were going off. Like, I knew something was up, but I couldn't, like, make my mind connect the pieces as to what exactly was up. And there was, like, curveball, curveball, curveball. And then, like, a decision was made, and I'm like, okay, I mean, I guess, but, like, I don't really agree with the decision. But, like, I thought I was just picky. Like, I just thought I was, like, picky. No. my gut was right, because holy sweet baby Jesus, I did not see that coming. I'm like going through the 7 stages of grief. Just ask Jocelyn. She just got like 4 minutes straight of me finishing this book. I can't, like, what? I am pissed off. I'm not pissed off. That's a really good ending, but like, I'm pissed off. See, this is how I can compare Rhapsodic to this book. I loved Rhapsodic all throughout, but the ending is where it lost me. This book I was pretty okay throughout, but the ending is what made this book. Like, that is how you end a book. Because my gears are literally working, like, overtime, weekends, holidays right now. And I look it up, and I'm like, when's the sequel coming out? July. And it's not even early July, it's middle of July. And I just got left on the biggest cliffhanger in literal history. And, come to find out, it's the last book. It's only a duology. What? It has been quite some time since a YA fantasy, or a fantasy in general, has, like, had me this shook. Like, thrillers, yeah, like, that's just the drill. But a fantasy? I did not predict that plot twist. There was a couple things that I predicted, but not that. Like, I had bad vibes, but I was, like, not expecting that. That was really good, though. But I'm still in shock. So, anyways, I'm wide awake, and we still have, like, 50 minutes left in the readathon. So, I am going to try to cram as much of Ariadne as I can on audio. I don't really have high hopes. I feel like maybe I can get a couple more chapters done, but nothing too big. I think I have like 150 some odd pages left in this. Something like that. And then, you know what? After that, I get to go to freaking sleep. So that happened. I'll check in later when the readathon ends. Happy end of the readathon! We made it. Shout out to Jocelyn. We made it. Thanks again for sleep depriving yourself with me. So, final wrap up time. These are the books that got content read out of them. So, number 1 on the list, final wrap up, we have Rhapsodic by Laura Thalassa. This is gonna get like a 4.5 out of 5 stars. In my head, it's like I rated it a 5 on Goodreads, and I'm gonna tell everybody else that I rated it a 5, but like, in my mind, it's rated a 4.5 just because I wasn't a fan of the ending. I feel like I could think of ways to do the ending better. But the book was good. Next, we have These Hollow Vows by Lexi Ryan. This gets a 5 out of 5 stars. And then lastly, I started but did not finish Ariadne. I ended up making it to chapter 21, page 173. So, I was almost done. So, this will have to be a read for next reading vlog. I guess we will have to see when that will be. I have to get up this readathon vlog, and I also have to wait and get my What I Got for Christmas vlog up before I can post a reading vlog, because I don't want to run low on storage. So, with that being said, the final page tally ended up being 769 pages. So, not too shabby. Not too shabby. Things that I would do differently this readathon is nap before. I would definitely nap before because I have not slept in 36 hours. Also, I would... What else would I do differently? I don't know. It was more just like I didn't know what kind of reading mood I was in. I kind of just went in blind and picked whatever, and then I ended up like, so Rhapsodic was good, and that was what I was in the mood for. And then I tried to jump right back into Ariadne, but that was so not what I was in the reading mood for, so it really slowed me down trying to force my way through that book all afternoon. But when I picked up These Hollow Vows, it really started to speed back up, and I wish I would have started with that because I probably could have gotten something else done. But I will just have to keep that in mind for next readathon. So thank you guys for watching. I hope you enjoyed. And thank you again to Jocelyn. I very much so appreciate it. I had a lot of fun. Very tired, but I still had a lot of fun. And I am about to get so much sleep. So, yes. Thank you guys for watching again. Hope you enjoyed, and I will see you next time for a brand new video.